The following is a presentation of the Belly Up Sports Media Network.
Let's move on to the main event, fellas. In the men's bantamweight division, we had Merab Dvalishvili defeating Suga Sean O'Malley by submission. And to backtrack a little bit, we all had Kayla winning that fight, the last one we talked about. We all had Joe Piper winning as well. And we all had Merab winning this one. And I mean, I think before when we talked about in the pre-show, it kind of played out how we thought it would. And round one, O'Malley came out with piss and fire a little bit, and he came out with that spinning back kick. I'm like, all right, so he's going to attack. But after that, it was a lot. He basically fought backing up basically after that, and he did a good job early on sticking and moving, using that jab to keep Merab away. But eventually, Merab kept pressuring him and cracked him with a hook and got the takedown. And O'Malley got back up, but Merab with that gas tank got another takedown and some ground and pound to finish off that first round. And then going on to round two, O'Malley did a good job of defending the takedown. There was a lot of cat and mouse in that round, but both guys landed some shots, but it wasn't a whole lot of volume. I think Merab, like I said, did a good job of pressuring O'Malley at that point and making O'Malley fight backwards. And finally in round three, Merab kind of figured him out and caught his groove. Like, I think they'll probably end up making this like a gift or something when Merab was carrying him around when he got the takedown. He was carrying around his shoulders for a little bit, and it was like, boom. And it was the beginning of the end for O'Malley at that point. He got him on the ground for the majority of that round, and O'Malley got up for a little bit, but Merab did and dragged him back down, and he got to that north-south choke, and O'Malley tapped, and that was all she wrote. Merab was able to defend that bantamweight championship. And what were your thoughts on this one, Admire?
Yeah, I mean, it kind of went exactly how I thought. I thought Merab was just going to completely dominate it, which he did, pretty much completely dominate it. I think O'Malley kind of did what he had to do. He had to use some of the flashy stuff and try to just be unorthodox with it and try to catch him with something because, I mean, Merab's got it all. Like, Merab's got the striking, the takedowns, the cardio. So, Sean had to try something. But it just kind of shows I've seen a lot of different posts, different ideas about it. One of the UFC fighters, said, something about you're exposed. That's what happens when you get fast tracked to the title. It does. It kind of shows that, O'Malley really didn't have to fuck with anybody with a real strong ground game. Like, it's all just been kind of a stand-up way. But O'Malley really needs to train on the ground game for sure. If he wants to be champion in this division again, because Merab is just an animal. And I see that meme or something that somebody made that said, like, your favorite fighter wakes up and is thankful that Merab, is in his own weight division. Because if Merab, pound for pound, weighed as much as John Jones, Merab would beat John Jones. I mean, he's a complete fighter. Merab is going to be a champion for a while.
I mean, as fast as this sport evolves and moves forward, I mean, looking at it on paper, it looks like, yeah, he's going to be champion for a long time, but you never know at this sport. But yeah, I would bank on him racking up those defenses if he looks like he did against Suga Sean O'Malley. But what were your thoughts on this one, Steve?
Like I said, I don't think he was very confident in himself, Sean O'Malley. I think the whole fight, honestly, wasn't too much switched up. Maybe he saw a little different, like you said, catch him off guard. But, I mean, a lot of people are saying he shouldn't even, which I agree, to rematch him. It's just like, I think he's going to stay on top for a while. I don't think anybody even coming behind trying to even do the double champ stuff or above can even do anything with him. I think that set Sean O'Malley back he's not going to get another title shot anytime soon unless he, I don't know, bulks up or something. Because that was just I'm trying to see what was the justification or what was the promoting behind why he got that rematch.
Well, we'll get into that a little bit later. But it's politics probably. But yeah, I don't know, man. Before we get into O'Malley, let's get into Merab. Like, what's really next for him? Because looking at the rankings, they didn't even drop O'Malley down a spot in the rankings. He's still ranked number 1. So what happens with Merab at this point? Admire?
I don't know, man. I was just thinking about that. I was like, man, too bad. The only other fighter that I see right now that would be just a good test for Merab is Taporia. I wish there was a way to get them together and fight, but I don't even know if they would because I think they're both from like the same country. So I don't know.
But and Taporia is a 2 weight classes above him, though.
No, Taporia used to fight a bantamweight like early in his career before the UFC. I don't know if he could still make it, but he used to be bantamweight like way back in the day.
He just gave up the featherweight belt, so
right. But I'm just saying, if they could do something, if Merab could move up to, if they could meet at featherweight, it'd be a fun fight. But realistically, Merab, I don't know. He's going to keep knocking off these guys up there at the top. There's a lot of fights that I don't think he's had. I don't think he's fought like Sandhagen.
Oh yeah, so Sandhagen was in the crowd. So,
but I think Sandhagen has a fight booked. I can't remember against who. I think he does have something booked.
You sure about that? You sure about
does
that?
He?
I don't know, man. They showed him in the crowd, like basically they're positioning him for that fight to happen next. I don't think he has any. I don't think he has anything lined up. He just fought Figueiredo back in May.
Oh, well, then maybe that's the fight they're going to make. I thought Sandhagen might have had something lined up. Well, that's the fight to make because Merab hasn't faced him. I think Merab's faced a lot of the others that are kind of in that area as far as rankings.
It's still a few fights that they can still make that he hasn't fought. He already fought Jan, like he fought Aldo. Dodson. So yeah, this he hadn't fought Song Yudong. That would be fun.
Yeah.
He just beat Umar. I don't think they had him and Cheeto. I don't think him and Cheeto fought. So there's a few ones, but I don't see them going favorably for anybody that he faces. So, but I'm so tired of them trying to do super fights. So maybe they could just build up people ranked below 10 and try to quote unquote fast track them and get them up to speed. You got Bautista. He just got to win. So you're just going to have to have them keep climbing the ranks and keep rolling them out. And maybe we just here for the ride and just watch them stack the wins. So before we talk about O'Malley again, there's been whispers. They're saying that Merab is the greatest bantamweight of all time. I don't know if y'all agree with that.
I don't know if I agree with it yet. I mean, is he a great fighter? Yeah. Is he probably the best fighter? Yeah. But being the greatest of all time isn't just about being, the best fighter. It encompasses being a good champion, having, a good run, all that. He's got some good wins, but he doesn't have the full resume. He's got, O'Malley twice, Umar, Cejudo, Jan, Aldo. I mean, he's got great wins, but I still think there's some others up there.
So, I mean, I think, do people overrate Dominic Cruz's run? Because you could only people that are in this conversation are, you put Dominic in there. Of course, you put Aljo in there, teammates. And then you put Renan Barão in there. So, I don't know.
Yeah, but to me, when you talk about the greatest, I don't just count how good they were. I'm saying I encompass the whole thing. Like Dominic Cruz became like a commentator. He was a good ambassador for the sport. Like he fought like all the top guys at the time. Like he ran through the whole division. So like he had all the different attributes. He just didn't have the one thing. Like the one thing Merab has right now is he's so good, but he doesn't have the full resume. Like he hasn't been around the whole block. Like I don't know. He isn't a big ambassador of the sport from what I can tell so far. Like he isn't a poster child for the sport like Dominic Cruz was for the WEC back then.
So I'm looking at he had the WEC and the UFC careers. I guess you could look at both of those and combine them. Kind of. He only defended the UFC belt 3 times only. That's still a pretty big feat. But he defended the WEC twice. So 5 title defenses. That's nothing to sneeze at. But I think if you're Merab and you defended 3 more times, I think you could throw yourself in the conversation because I don't know, man. For some reason I just look at Dominic Cruz as just being injury riddled. That kind of like rubs me the wrong way for some reason, looking back at his career.
Yeah, I mean, he missed a lot of fights because of all of his injuries. So I can see that too. And I mean, he did lose to some people that went on to lose more, like Cody Garbrandt. Yeah. Like Cody Garbrandt made Cruz look really bad. And then Cody Garbrandt went on to just like lose a lot of fights.
Yeah. Dominic Cruz only lost 4 times. That's pretty good too. Like, what do you think, Steve?
Yeah, I was looking at his past fights, and I definitely can't take away some of the people he fought. I can say when he starts, Dotson, I can give him that. But when he starts getting to the Moraes, and then on up, Aldo, Peter Yan, Cejudo, of course, O'Malley, then Magomedov. I mean, I can't take that. He's starting to be on and some of these people are older, but he's starting to have his own murder's row as far as like to give credit to him. The best I can say, he's on his way up to be a few more wins. He'll have a good track record of a good list of people that he beat. Because some of these people were actually some are dogs, and he's beat them.
Yeah,
the only time he's lost is that Ricky Simone lost, and I think he shouldn't even lost that. That was when Simone got on top and had a guillotine while he was on top of him. He was kicking and kicking for like a minute, and then the round ended, and Ricky Simone was trying to say he passed out, and he was like, "No, I didn't," but they gave him it's funny. It says a KO right here, but it's supposed to be, I guess, submission.
Yeah, I see technical submission there. What I'm looking at as well.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, looking at it as a whole, just because Merab's got more losses than I thought. Like you said, that shouldn't have been a loss, but him and Cruz are at 4 losses, and you got to put in the factor how many times Cruz defended it. So
yeah,
I guess right now I have to give the edge to Cruz, but if Merab stays on track, he has a good chance of surpassing that. So. It looks like Sandhag is going to be the next one. So, but before we get on out of here, closing this out with O'Malley, I don't know if it was Steve or you might talk about that. Like this match shouldn't have been an immediate rematch for O'Malley. I feel like UFC is just so fixated on making him like the next Conor, but I don't know. I don't think Conor was a lightning in the bottle too. We see how Conor wasn't well-rounded, and it seems like O'Malley is kind of a one-trick pony. Like he's got that knockout power, but if he can't catch you, and it's not much he could do, and he's got the hair, or even though he didn't have the hair, he was taking his camp more seriously. He didn't have the dyed hair this time, but it seems like UFC's been trying their hardest just to make him one of the faces of the company, and they kind of fast-tracked them, and now it's not panning out. Now what they have, they kind of have like, I don't want to say a broken fighter, but this probably hasn't done well for his confidence, throwing him back in there so quickly. And now he's lost. So, like, where does he even go from here now, am I?
Yeah. I'd expect to see him to probably bounce around to another weight class and just try it somewhere else because he sees what he has to face up there. He's already lost to Merab twice. They're not going to give him a third shot unless he does something, he's going to have to do a lot to get that third shot, and it's not going to be immediate. So his best bet, if he wants to hold a belt again, bounce around to a different weight class. But I think the UFC is going to stop throwing all this extra into him, after he just lost twice. I think they were trying to make him into the next Conor, but I also think that Conor got protected a lot more. I think that, in Conor's case, they kept him away, somebody like a Merab. They, until it was time that they couldn't protect him from like Khabib. Because, almost everybody that Conor fought was a stand-up fighter just like him, or if they happen to have a little bit of wrestling like a Chad Mendez or somebody, it was a real short notice fight. It was never somebody that was just, real wrestling heavy. So I think Conor got a little bit more protection than Sean O'Malley did. But
really, I think they got the same amount of protection, really, because he didn't have to face a wrestler like that until he got the belt and had to face Merab. Remember, because that was kind of the thing that he got fast tracked and he wasn't really facing wrestlers like that, and he had that weird decision against Petr Yan where people thought he lost that fight, and I don't know.
You don't think Sterling, is a good ground guy with wrestling and stuff?
Yeah, you could throw Sterling in, but that was for the title. I feel like on the way up, both of them kind of had a similar path, like Conor and him.
That was a controversy of a quick turnaround, wasn't it too?
Yeah. They made Aljo fight like 2 months after he just defended the belt, and I think that was a questionable stoppage too. So I feel like it's similar protection. Both him and Conor were protected a good bit. You might give the edge to Conor, but I feel like they still were both protected. On the way up.
Definitely both were protected. But yeah, I mean, I would expect. Just my guess, I think the UFC is going to stop pushing him so hard. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they do keep pushing him, but if they do keep pushing him, then you're going to see him against more stand-up guys. Now they see that they can't put him against somebody that's really cardio and wrestling heavy.
Yeah, well, yeah. I'm in agreement with that. But what do you think, Steve?
Yeah, I could say the plane got exposed. This was the last one to say, "Hey, I was off, new game plan," and nothing, so he really has to reinvent himself. I mean, you already won. You can consider you win championship. Admire, like he said, a featherweight maybe could. I can give him a little leeway of going and doing that because I can say he can possibly be around the same frame as Max Holloway. So I think he might maybe he has to try it himself to see how good he is in that weight class. But, you're just fighting behind you at this point. You're either giving other people opportunity or you got to not let people make money off your name. It's as far as catapult themselves in front of your ranking. So he has the decisions to make.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of with y'all, but kind of in a different way. I think he should change weight classes, but I think those featherweights will be too big for him. So it might seem a little crazy, but maybe he should think about going down one more class because Cody Garbrandt, he did it. People didn't think he would be able to make flyweight, and he went down there. Then end well for him, but maybe O'Malley could cut down it would be a terrible cut, but maybe he can make it work down there. I think he could get the belt down there, actually. Even though we got Pantoja is the champion down there, but I think he might. So maybe he could try cutting 10 more pounds, which is saying a lot when you're that thin, but I don't think he'd fare well at featherweight. I think those guys would toss him around. So I don't know. We'll see. But like you said, they got to go back to the drawing board and figure out something with him because he's still ranked number 1, but he's like 30. So he's a little bit of damaged goods, but he's kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place. He just at the wrong place at the wrong time with Merab being on top. Thank you for checking out this Haymaker Combat Sports segment. This full episode can be found on the Haymaker Combat Sports YouTube page and in audio form on all major podcast platforms. Until next time, peace.